Good morning. Abstinence. Experience strength and hope from members of Overeaters Anonymous. We're moving into chapter 5, Abstinence and the Tools. This one's entitled Retooling for Recovery. I've always used the tools of recovery to a certain degree. Done service, had a sponsor, made phone calls, and read the literature. But I never really considered how important all the tools were and how I could use them to my greatest benefit. Since my return from relapse, I've been learning to use the tools regularly because I never want to go out there again. Abstinence. I define my abstinence as simply not overeating. I try to keep in mind that abstinence is just a tool. The ultimate goal is recovery. This is one of the ways in which abstinence differs from a diet. Abstinence helps me accomplish a total change in lifestyle and character so that I can live a saner and happier life. I try not to worry too much about other people's food plans. I can get so caught up in the diet mentality that I forget that abstinence means I don't have to worry about whether or not I need to eat more salad. Okay. Sponsorship. It took me several years to get serious about having a sponsor. Even when I found somebody I liked, I called only in emergencies. Then one day, my sponsor's sponsor was called out of town, and we agreed to sponsor each other until she returned. We took turns calling one another every day, and my serenity and abstinence improved. Even after her sponsor returned home, I continued calling regularly. I now believe, as one of my OA friends always says, that sponsorship is a lifeline to the program. Meetings. I attend 2 OA meetings a week. Sometimes I feel a little guilty about this. Some of my friends go to meetings nearly every day. I juggle a full-time job and a career as a freelance writer. I've made a commitment to fit 2 meetings into my schedule every week, no matter what. I've heard it said that if we can't have perfect abstinence, we can at least have perfect attendance. I try to come early and leave late. Taking time to attend a meeting is one of the most important things I can do for myself. Another is putting aside all the other worries and concerns of the day so that I can concentrate on what's being said. Telephone. Right after my return to OA, my boss went away on vacation, leaving me with almost nothing to do. I soon realized I was fixating on the cafeteria and candy machines. I decided to call OA friends during the day. I enjoyed talking to members I'd never come to know very well because they were only available for phone calls during my usual working hours. I soon built a list of people whom I felt comfortable calling. I still make as many calls as I can, often spending part of my lunch hour on the phone with these daytime friends. Writing. Because I'm a professional writer, I was reluctant to use writing as an aid to recovery. I've heard people in meetings say that they struggle to get their thoughts on paper, but the struggle helped them understand themselves better. I've been blessed with a total lack of writer's block. I can produce a competent article in a few minutes if there is a tight deadline. Writing was too easy, I thought. It couldn't possibly help me. I happened to attend a concert during which the performer said something that really made me angry. I discussed it with my sponsor, who said, "Why not write a letter and tell him about it?" My immediate response was, how should I slant the letter? Toward his politics, his belief systems, his personal life? Listening to me, I suddenly understood that OA writing is about honesty, not talent or technique. I wrote the letter, deleted it from my computer without printing it, and felt much better. Literature. I serve as literature secretary for both of my groups. I enjoy leafing through the OA catalog and especially enjoy sharing Lifeline with newcomers. I try to keep the group's Lifeline lending libraries up to date by purchasing back issues from the VSO or WSO and asking members to bring in their copies after they've read them. Often I've heard a newcomer say, "I read the pamphlets, but I couldn't understand them very well. Then I read the copy of Lifeline you gave me, and I could really relate to the stories in there. That's what made me want to come back." Anonymity. A couple of years ago, there was a serious anonymity break in our area when a reporter published something he'd heard a local political activist say at an OA meeting. It really frightened me because as a writer, I knew the temptation that reporter felt. And as a political active person myself, I wonder if I'd be next. The incident taught us all a lesson about the purpose of anonymity. Our program is a catalyst for the transformation of character. Shedding our hard outer shells and becoming vulnerable are vital to recovery, and we need to know that we can do that in absolute safety. Service. Because my schedule is so irregular and hectic, I have to limit my service to things I can do in a spare moment. Copying meeting lists, ordering literature, calling newcomers midway through the week. Knowing that I'm on my way to the copy store or to the post office to pick up a literature order keeps me from overeating while I'm doing these errands. I hope this article doesn't sound too boastful. I played the role of Miss OA my first time around, and it got me into a lot of trouble. I use the tools not because I should, but because they work. And if one of them becomes too tiring, I let it go for a while. For instance, some days I just can't fix it, or some days I just can't fit in my telephone calls. I know people who commit to making a certain number of phone calls every day, but that's not possible for me. I try to keep in mind that these are the tools of recovery, and I use them because recovery is my heart's deepest desire. It's a pleasure to be home in OA again. And this is from a member in Wilmington, Delaware. Have a great day.